The yellow bulldozers rumbled toward my barn like predators, their steel teeth glinting under the Texas sun. 3 men in dark suits, government IDs dangling, stood behind them, smug as thieves. One barked into a walkie-talkie, the others high-fived, laughing like it was a sport. "You're trespassing on public land," the leader, Greg Larson, shouted. "Vacate before demolition starts." I stood firm, boots planted in the dust, heart hammering, clutching my family's century-old deed. Trespassing on my ranch. This land, 40 acres of blood and sweat, was mine since 1923. But the HOA had spun a lie, claiming it was abandoned state property, and the county swallowed it. Now they were here to erase my legacy. I didn't yell. I pulled my phone and hit record. A buzz pierced the air. Greg froze. Then a roar, not from the machines, but a black helicopter diving low, its wind scattering his papers. SUVs screeched up the back road, disgorging men with badges. "Step away," one barked at Greg. "You're under federal investigation." Greg's jaw dropped. The HOA president, Diane Kessler, leapt from her car, shrieking. This was supposed to be simple. I turned, voice steady. "You shouldn't have forged federal documents." Then she did the unthinkable, dialed 911 on me. Too late. The trap was sprung. 3 months earlier, it started with banana bread. I'm Ethan Caldwell, 45, a widower running my family's ranch outside Austin. I baked a loaf to welcome new neighbors, Tom and Rachel Hayes, to the sprawling Oakview HOA nearby. I wanted to be kind, like my parents who raised cattle here, or my grandfather who grew pecans. "I'm Ethan, from the ranch," I said, offering the bread. Rachel took it, but Tom eyed me oddly. "We heard that land's county-owned, abandoned," he said. I laughed. "It's been Caldwell land since 23. Their silence chilled me. 2 weeks later, an HOA letter arrived. "Occupant, you violate Regulation 7B, unauthorized structures on community land." I tossed it, thinking it was a mix-up. But more came, culminating in an eviction notice. I stormed the HOA office, meeting Diane 50S, severe bun, heels clicking, rules folder in hand. "My ranch is mine," I said, showing my deed. She smirked. "The system says it's HOA property now, transferred." I choked. "You stole my land? Remove your structures in 30 days, Mr. Caldwell, or we will." I called my friend Claire Voss, a real estate lawyer with a bulldog's tenacity. "Your deed's legit," she said, "but someone filed a counterdeed, claiming a tax error reverted the land to the state." I paid taxes, I insisted, showing receipts. "Someone's lying deep," she said. We dug through county records, finding a clerical glitch exploited by the HOA. They'd filed a false claim with forged signatures, buying my land for $1 in a secret deal with a crooked official. "This is fraud," Claire said. "Expose it, and their operation collapses." Rage replaced shock. They weren't just after my land, they were spitting on my family's name. I hired a surveyor, filed a quiet title action, tipped the media, and sent anonymous complaints to state agencies. Claire tapped her contacts, quietly alerting federal investigators. But the HOA caught on. Trucks prowled my land at night. Orange flags sprouted in my pasture. A notice nailed to my barn read, "Structure to be demolished. Vacate." The county claimed my appeal ever filed was denied. I called in a favor from a Department of Interior friend who owed me for saving his cousin's farm. "I need eyes on this," I said. He got me a federal probe. As the HOA planned demolition, I set a trap. When the chopper landed and agents swarmed, Diane's 911 call was futile. Sheriff Dan Holt arrived, recognizing me from town. "What's this, Ethan?" I nodded to Agent Torres. "Sheriff, we're investigating land fraud," Torres said. "Mr. Caldwell's cooperating." Diane went silent. Torres added, "We suspect forged documents. Stay for questioning." Diane snapped, "That land's abandoned." Greg stammered, "It's just paperwork." I scoffed. "My great-grandfather's home's an eyesore." A woman in a suit served Diane a Federal Land Commission subpoena. Silence fell. Then Tom, the neighbor, sneered, "This isn't over, Ethan. Truth doesn't matter, power does." I stepped close. "Get a lawyer." Claire had filed a civil suit that morning, naming Tom, Rachel, Diane, and Greg as conspirators. Trouble began when the county announced a luxury resort next to my ranch. I refused big money offers, triggering pressure, cars parked at my fence, drones at night, a smashed mailbox, a dead hen laid at my drive. I buried it, silent but seething. Claire noticed. They're scaring you. I'm angry, I said. We cataloged every incident, uncovering the HOA's history of shady land grabs, bullying elders and families into selling cheap. Board members had developer ties. It was a profit machine. Federal agents planted cameras and undercover at HOA meetings, traced bank transfers, and hacked their server, finding emails where Diane plotted to shift zoning and create a paper trail. One email targeted me. Then, radio silence from the feds. I feared failure until the chopper. As agents questioned the HOA, a crack split the air like a gunshot. Smoke rose from my barn. Fire! Holt yelled. I sprinted toward it, memories flashing: grandfather's saddle, mom's ledgers, photos. Flames devoured them. Holt and Torres pulled me back. You'll die, Holt barked. It's arson, Claire hissed. They're erasing evidence. The barn collapsed into ash. Diane was gone. Tom and Rachel vanished. That night, on my porch, Claire handed me coffee. Tom, I asked. Or someone with him, she said, revealing a trail cam by the south gate. Footage showed Tom, gaskin in hand, igniting the barn at 4:23 a.m. Arson and destruction of federal property, Claire said. We sent it to Torres. By noon, Tom was arrested. Rachel bailed him out, and whispers spread. But the HOA kept fighting. Utility poles to my ranch were spray-painted with red excess. A sign at town read, development approved, demolition scheduled. My truck died one night, battery drained. A hand knocked my window, a voice whispering, "You've made powerful enemies, Ethan." He vanished. At the gas station, Claire stumbled up, lip bleeding. Someone jumped me, warned me to drop the suit. He had a badge. We went public. Claire's viral video detailed the HOA's lies, the barn fire, and threats, showing emails and Tom's arson footage. It exploded online, drawing national news. Neighbors confessed being duped into signing land deals. But Sunset Properties, a Florida firm, filed an injunction, accusing me of defamation for harming their resort plans. A hearing loomed in 72 hours. If they won, I'd lose everything. Claire said, they're scared. The video worked. At dawn, Holt arrived with state officials. Your ranch is under emergency acquisition for a bypass, one said, handing me a forged state-sealed order. Eminent domain, Claire snapped, recording. You're rushing this while it's under federal review. I warned. Step on my land without a hearing, and I'll sue. They left, but the video went viral, sparking protests at my gate. Residents brought signs, "Save family land." A radio host broadcast live. Tom's house was vandalized by angry neighbors. Then, an anonymous Dropbox link revealed a recorded call between Diane and the official, plotting to clear the land fast with fake papers. The governor's office won't ask questions, they said. A 20-year land grab scheme unfolded, targeting hundreds of properties. The source demanded a midnight meet at an abandoned mill. Claire and I went, my revolver hidden. Inside, Harold, a retired county clerk, confessed to backdating my land's transfer for bribes. They burned your barn, hurt your friend. I'm done. He handed us a folder, emails, bribes, Sunset's blueprints, judges' financial ties. They launder federal grants through fake projects, he said. As we left, a shot shattered a window. We hit the floor, dragging Harold, leg bleeding. Gunfire raged outside. Collins, come out, or we burn it. Brent, the official, stood with a flamethrower. I waved Harold's USB, taunting, want this? Federal SUVs roared in, marshals swarming. A sniper's shot knocked the match from Brent's hand. He was cuffed, screaming, there's another level. I knelt. This was for every nobody you crushed. 3 weeks later, Brent and 19 others faced racketeering and fraud charges. Harold testified with immunity. The judge resigned, Sunset's accounts froze, the HOA dissolved. Tom and Rachel fled. We rebuilt the barn with community help. A girl said, your ranch saved us. I replied, we did. A sign rose, Caldwell Ranch, 1923. Not for sale. Claire and I teach kids farming now, keeping Harold's files safe beside grandfather's saddle. The cameras blink, but peace hold for now. Who's fought a bully this big? The Ranch Rebellion. 3 months ago, Ethan Caldwell, a 45-year-old widower, stood on his 40-acre Texas ranch, facing yellow bulldozers sent by the Oakview HOA to demolish his family's century-old barn. Clutching a 1923 deed, he was accused of trespassing on public land after the HOA, led by Diane Kessler, forged documents claiming his ranch was abandoned. What began with a neighborly gesture banana bread for newcomers Tom and Rachel Hayes spiraled into a war of fraud, arson, and betrayal. The setup. Ethan's troubles started when the county announced a luxury resort near his ranch. After refusing lucrative buyout offers, he faced intimidation, drones, smashed mailboxes, a dead hen. The HOA sent violation letters, demanding he remove unauthorized structures. Diane, backed by lawyer Greg Larson, claimed the land was HOA-owned via fake counterdeed exploiting a tax glitch. Ethan and lawyer Claire Voss uncovered a scheme. The HOA had bought his land for $1 in a secret deal with a corrupt official. The fight. Ethan filed a quiet title action, tipped the media, and alerted federal investigators through a Department of Interior contact. As the HOA planned demolition, he set a trap. A federal helicopter and agents stormed the scene, exposing forged documents. Diane's 911 call backfired as Agent Torres announced a fraud probe. But the HOA retaliated, setting Ethan's barn ablaze. Trail cam footage pinned Tom as the arsonist. Escalation. Despite Tom's arrest, the HOA's allies struck. Red excess on utility poles, a fake eminent domain order, and an assault on Claire. Ethan and Claire's viral video detailing the fraud, arson, and threats rallied the town. Neighbors confessed to being duped into land deals. Sunset Properties, a Florida firm, sued Ethan for defamation, claiming rights to his land. A state official, Brent, pushed a forged acquisition order. The showdown. At a midnight meet, ex-clerk Harold revealed a 20-year land grab scheme, implicating judges and Sunset. Gunfire erupted. Brent, wielding a flamethrower, was stopped by federal marshals. His files exposed a network laundering federal grants. Brent and 19 others faced racketeering charges. The HOA dissolved, and Ethan rebuilt his barn with community help, planting a sign, Caldwell Ranch, 1923. Not for sale. Legacy. Ethan and Claire now teach kids farming, guarding the truth in a safe beside a family saddle. The ranch stands as a symbol of resistance against greed. But whispers of another level linger, hinting the fight may not be over.